Okay, and this is the episode where we find our first actual proper boss, and that's him in Shadow. Chinatown! What is up with your voice? That always bothered me. I can't remember if this guy actually got an action figure. If he did, he'd have a proper name, and I really should know his name. Because he's only in here for like a few seconds. Sorry, dude, the coffin's only big enough for me. Barely. And if some of you noticed by the way he pulls his guns out of the coffin, and the way he like cocks his leg to the side when he's firing off the rocket, when he's treating his coffin like a bazooka. Yes, those are direct references to the movie Desperado with Antonio Banderas, I think it was. Was he the guy in that movie? Can't remember. Anyway, since we're coming up on the first proper boss of this, whose name is Bob Poundmax, I'll be going more into detail about, like, certain things between this game and the anime, but the anime basically ruined the Gungrave games for me. I loved Gungrave, and I love Gungrave Overdose, even though I played Overdose before Gungrave. I have a bad habit of doing that, where I play the sequel before the previous one. But anyway, yeah, I picked up Overdose, I loved it. I picked up Gungrave, the original, loved that, and I was like, oh, there's an anime out for it. Of course I'm gonna watch this. And then I watched it, and I'm like, oh, this is so bad. And the thing is, like, it does some problems, like, storytelling-wise, and it kind of ruins, like, some headcanon points for me, as well as just, like, ruining some stuff that, like, it contradicts stuff that happens in the game. And I'll be going into some of those things, like, when those points arise, but yeah, it's like, the anime basically took two games which I played religiously, and then ruined it so bad for me that I just dropped these games, put them on a shelf, and then never touched them for like 10 years. And so, there are certain aspects of the anime that are still, that I recall, but I don't remember them, like, so much. Like, the anime's so far enough removed that I'm able to play this game without, like, getting a bad taste in my mouth. Like, first and foremost being, like, the coffin? Where Grave gets the coffin, that's never addressed. Because Tokioka is like, okay, he's like a bioengineer, so he didn't make the coffin, or at least it wouldn't make sense that he would have made the coffin. Maybe he got the coffin from the same place he got the guns. The anime never explains where Grave got the guns or the coffin. The second game explains that like I said previously, that the guns were made by a mad scientist, but neither game explains where Grave got the coffin from. And it never really explains where he gets the outfit, but because, like, the anime is a lot more down-to-earth than the games are. So it doesn't make sense for him to, like, have... The outfit is, like, even more out of place in the anime because of how much more down-to-earth it is. So, yeah, it just... It tries to do some things, but, like, it fails to do it. The anime... It focuses on Graves' life before he died. It's all backstory. This place up here is like two death blows, two bullet dances clear this place out. Yeah, see, it wasn't that easy. So yeah, it's like, if you go into the Gungrave anime expecting a lot of Grave, you're gonna be disappointed, because most of it is just, I think the anime is like 6 volumes, and 4 of it is just like all, back when Grave was still alive, back when he was Brandon Heat, and his time in, the mafia organization known as, Millennium. Not Millennium, Millennian. Not sure what the heck that's supposed to mean, but that's just what the name of the organization was called. Let's switch to Death Blow here. So yeah, most of it is just backstory, which is perfectly fine, and regardless of the fact that it actually, like, ruins some, headcanon for me, and kind of changes some stuff, but not, like, too much. Most of what it contradicts is, some of the anime actually does cover, modern day, specifically, all the stuff that happens over the course of Gungrave. It doesn't actually touch on what happens in Gungrave Overdose. But, yeah, the people he fights in the game and the anime, the fight scenes occur differently in the anime than they do from the game. And it's like, okay, the boss fights in the game are interesting, and because you're now taking care of those boss fights in the anime, you can make them a lot more cinematic. You can put, like, more strategy into it than just shooting. But no, they actually change how some of the enemies function, and because they get rid of Seed entirely, like, 1 or 2 enemies are just removed completely. And the way that the anime ends is Gungrave Overdose technically can't happen. Actually, due to the way the anime ends, Gungrave Overdose can't possibly happen, so the anime, like... Yeah, it's like the anime follows a completely different continuity than what the games do. So, it's a little bit easier to ignore the anime when you're playing the games, but still, it's like every time I think about the anime, it just... Well, every time I play the games, I want to think about the anime, and that just upsets me. And these guys right here, these are the Kurofuku, or Kurofuko. I probably should have looked up the name in between levels. Yeah, this right here is the first time you fight them, and these guys are kind of tough. I'm not sure why the heck they have those little bat wings coming out of their necks. That's never really explained either. I mean, you have a lot of stuff in the first game that's just never explained overall, but might be explained in the second game. I think that's just for a stylistic choice, I don't know. And yeah, those guys are holding those suitcases like, again, that's another Desperado reference. And this bulldozer type thing, I'm not even sure what the heck kind of machine this is. But this is a pseudo-boss, in that you don't actually have to fight it. Mostly the main reason why you do fight it is to just build up your beat counter, because you're actually going to have a proper boss fight, like, coming up, and you want to have, like, the ability to use some of your demolition shots. But if you're already, like, maxed out, and you're, like, and you want to save some time to get, like, a better score, you can just turn around and just run straight down the bridge. And that'll just carry you on to the next part, the rest of the level. But I do want to build up some beat counter, and I want to see if I can't beat this machine, because I used to be able to beat this machine, like, no problem without using demolition shots, because really that's what you're supposed to do. You're just supposed to shoot it, build up your beats, build up demolition shots, and when you feel like you've had built up enough, then you just turn around and run. You don't actually have to beat it. Ah. I used to be able to beat that thing no problem, but oh well. Now see, nobody crashes a party like Beyond the Grave does. And the party guests either cleared out really fast, or Tokyoko was right, and this really was a trap, and there weren't any party guests. There was just a bunch of seed men. Honestly, I hate this part of the level because these guys hop around so freaking much. Easy, kitty. Sorry I can't pitch you, I'm trying to kill guys. I think in the anime, there was like maybe 2... No, there was... I'm gonna say there was 3.5 good fight scenes in the anime for Beyond the Grave, specifically, and 2 of those were against the Seedmen. Alright, here we go. And there's Harry McDowell and his Big Four. I think they were called the Big Four. I can't remember. I think I might be mistaking that for something else. And see, these guys call him Grave too. Why do they call him that? They shouldn't know that name. They should be calling him Brandon. And you could end this all right here with a headshot to each and every one of them. Why do you care if he pulls a gun on you? What is that, a 45 at most? What do you give a shit? I don't think they call it Millennium in the game either. I think it's just called the Syndicate. I think they call it Millennium in the sequel game, but in this one I think it's just called the Syndicate. So, yeah, Bob Poundmax's, they did do one thing in the anime which I kind of liked, which was when they showed him back in the past, he was like this really, like, thin guy, and it was like, oh, I can just eat and eat all I want and I never gain a pound, and then, like, over the course of the anime, then he just gets fat. So, yeah, admittedly, I kind of like that, but, yeah, it makes sense that he's, like, the weakest of Harry's Big Four because he's an accountant. That's what his job was. He was the guy who crunched the numbers. So, why did they send the accountant out even if he had a heavy machine gun? Because of this. He has the ability to turn into the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man's butt plug. I don't think he actually has, like, a cinematic move. I think he just swings his fat around and, like, knocks you down, and that's about it. I think it will actually cancel out my shield in one hit. But, yeah, his form, his, like, seed form, between this and the anime is pretty much exactly the same. Which, okay, in the game, he gets this form because he took seed and transformed to this. I don't think it's actually explained how they're able to transform in the anime. I think you just kind of take that for granted that they can do that because you have the Kurofuku or like the necrolized henchmen or whatever in the anime. But yeah, the reason why this is the first proper boss is because this is the first time where you can do this. This is a special move that you can do for all the bosses called a Graveyard Special. Yep, once you get their health down low enough, the skull starts glowing, and then you can just activate a Demolition Shot and then do that to them. Raging Inferno unlocked. Yeah, PCP and bath salts will do that to a guy.
あれを使って何をしようとしているの？この町の支配？それともたくさん人が死んだ？これからも。
Oh, absolutely. So many people are gonna die. That's another thing, the tower didn't exist in the anime either, because the anime didn't have Seed, they just had the Necrolization Project. That was pretty much the extent of all the sci-fi fantasy that was in the anime. Now, for anyone who's actually seen the anime and has retained a bit more of the information, more than I have for whatever reason, and you'd like to call me out on it, feel free. I'm admitting that I haven't seen the anime in about 10 years. And I have specifically said that the main reason why I'm able to play these games again is because I don't remember a good bit of it. Alright, gonna save here, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.